Good morning, lovelies. Let's do what God requires of us. Micah 6:8 tells us exactly what we need to do. So I kind of want to go through that. So, Jesus, coffee, beast mode. So, you see I titled the video, Seek Justice, Love Mercy, and Walk Humbly. 3 very intricate instructions that God's shown us. So I love this verse because it almost sets the tone of a courtroom in this book of Micah. The prophet Micah really lays out and sets the tone. And this, to me, if I close my eyes and go through this verse and kind of set the stage of what it looks like a courtroom. So I want to go through it in NLT. I'm going to read it in New King James too, but I want to go through it in NLT because I like what it says. I think it really lays it out. So know, O people, the Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you. To do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. So I'll read through it in the New King James too, but I like the way it breaks it down there. This is what the Lord requires of you. Good morning, Todd. What's up, buddy? To do what the Lord requires of you, to do what is right, which is seeking justice. Justice doesn't look like, hey, go get the bad guy. It's doing what's right. To love mercy, and to walk humbly. And I want to break all 3 of those things down for us to practicality of what it looks like in today's life. But the New King James says, he has shown you. Good morning, Michelle. He has shown you, oh man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? But to do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. So I want to break that down because when someone says something, so seeking justice. So when somebody says something or spools out an opinion that you don't agree with, what's the first thing we do? Rage wells up inside us and we immediately start looking for justice. Well, we're not looking for justice the right way. We're looking for our justice. Our flesh takes hold and we let it go. Sometimes that comes in the form of being a social justice warrior. But that's not what Micah said. That's not what God told Micah. It doesn't look like, hey, let them be social justice keyboard warriors. Let them, I'm right. And just, guys, I've done it. I know. I've done it. You just immediately begin formulating a response. Sometimes it takes sitting back, not jumping into response. Guys, to make it personal, I have a situation that I'm sitting on a response. I didn't jump in and go, ah! Somebody asked me a question, and my first response was to take it to prayer. God, give me the words, because I don't want to say what I want to say because it's flesh. I want to say what you want to say. I want to respond to that in a Christ-like manner. Remember, and I apologized yesterday, when I say there's 2 goals to every day, I told you guys the first one. Forgot to tell you the second one. Had a little squirrel moment. So the first one is to walk in Christ-likeness every day and to grow in Christ-likeness. I must decrease so he can increase. So less of me, more of him. Secondly, is to glorify God in all of our actions. If we jump off and we become social justice keyboard warriors, does that glorify God at all? None of it. Not unless God's giving you those words right then and there. But it usually requires waiting to make sure, and at least reading through your response. Letting your flesh calm down. Because the flesh wants to get at it really quick. Because that's what Satan does. He's division master. We're not trying to change their mind. We're trying to gain their perspective. So usually the first response, best response, is to ask questions and to gain their perspective on it. Not come at them with an answer, but to come at them with the intent of gaining their perspective on the situation. Ask questions. Don't come at it with the truth. Don't come at it with your answers. We want to stick up for our principles, but we don't want to do it at the expense of hurting others. Because that doesn't help any situation. Because usually we're responding because we've been hurt, and then we're going to turn around and do the same thing back. Is that the golden rule? Is that to love others like you want to be loved? Treat others like you want to be treated? Well, you didn't like being hurt, so is it really good to hurt them back? An eye for an eye, guys, does not apply here. An eye for an eye was God speaking about justice for a country, not individuals. Matter of fact, what does he say? When you're slapped, turn the other cheek and let them slap the other one too. Doesn't say go get them. It says turn the other cheek and let them hit that one too. So, and love mercy. So that's seeking justice. So loving mercy. So guys, we extend the same grace that God extends us every single day. When we wake up and we draw a breath, that's God's grace. He's giving us another day because he has a plan and a purpose for us. He's giving us his grace. We extend that to others. When somebody hurts us, giving grace, what does grace look like? What does mercy look like? Well, mercy looks like giving them the benefit of the doubt that whatever they said or whatever their opinion was, wasn't designed to hurt you. It wasn't the intent to hurt you. That's giving them grace. Giving them the benefit of the doubt of, hey, whatever they said, I'm sure they didn't say it to mean to hurt me. It was a byproduct. It wasn't their intent to do it. Guys, we don't know anybody's intent, so it's safe to assume that they didn't mean to do that. And here's the thing. We overlook their offenses. Good morning, Danita. How you feeling, you beast? I'm so proud of you guys. You and Poppy killed it up there. Killed it. Guys, we overlook people's offenses for the sake of the relationship. I've said it before. Harboring unforgiveness, harboring bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's not going to happen. It doesn't do you any good. Let it go. Take it to the foot of the cross, lay it there, and let it go. Do we agree with everybody we encounter? No, we don't. Do we have to love everybody we encounter? We have to love them, respectfully love them. But do we have to love them? No, we don't. Because we don't always agree with everybody we encounter. But we love them. Why? Because that's what God tells us to do. It's his second greatest commandment. First is loving him. Second is loving everybody else. So we love everybody else. So sometimes that means overlooking that offense, taking it to the foot of the cross, leaving it there. Cast your burdens onto the Lord. He will sustain you. He'll never let his righteous be shaken. And then 3, guys, is to walk humbly. This one is the hardest. Why? Because we're prideful creatures. Good morning, Kathy. We are prideful creatures. We want to be right. So sometimes, guys, walking humbly means that, does it fix every problem? No. But here's one thing it does do. When we walk in humility, it makes sure that we're not the problem. Right? We're trying to help a problem, not become one. And when we walk with pride into a situation and we go in and I'm right, that's not fixing a problem. You're becoming the problem. Bad juju. No. Bad llama. Don't do that. When we assume we have all of the answers, when we assume we have all the answers, that's pride. When we assume we don't have all the answers, we're like, look, I don't know, but when we assume we don't have all the answers, it's going to help make sure that we're keeping those relationships and we're not inflaming the problem. Curiosity helps situations a whole lot better than answers do. Good morning, Deb. When we're curious about something, it's going to open conversation, which is going to help us keep those relationships. It's going to help build those relationships. Curiosity invites conversation. Bringing the answers shuts it down. And guys, when there's some conflict, you want conversation because you want both parties to be able to talk it out, to gain each other's perspective. You gain each other's perspective through questionings, not bringing your answers, not both parties bringing their answers. All that brings is an inflamed situation. You're throwing gas on the fire. The idea is to throw water on the fire, not gas. Curiosity and questions, water. Bringing all the answers, gas. Effective communication, as my mermaid would love to say. So I'm going to read through 1 Corinthians 8:1 and then just kind of wrap with a thought, because I like what 1 Corinthians 8:1 says about this, what God says in it. And again, I kind of want to go through the NLT in this just because what the thought is so raw here. Now, regarding your question about food that has been offered to idols, yes, we know that we all have knowledge about the issue. But while knowledge makes us feel important, it is love that strengthens the church. So moreover, the second part of that what Paul's talking about there is eating food that was given to idols. That's not what we're capturing here. Moreover, what we're capturing is we all have knowledge about the issue, about every issue. Yes, we know that we all have knowledge about this issue, but while the knowledge makes us feel important, it's love that strengthens the church. Hear that, guys? Yeah, you have knowledge, but it's love that strengthens the church. So stand up for what God cares about, but do it with love. Or else you're not building up the church, which means you're not bringing change. So think about where you could seek justice, love mercy, and walk humbly today. And think about that. Think about maybe there's somebody that you need to reach out to that you need to seek forgiveness from, or maybe there's somebody you just need to give forgiveness to. You don't have to bring that forgiveness to them. You bring it to the foot of the cross and you lay it there and you forgive them. Because remember, guys, forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. Do you want to drink poison and let them and try and hope that they'll die? No, it's not going to happen. Forgiveness is the antidote to that poison. Drink that in today. Drink into his love today. If you're not walking around with him, find him. Because his joy lives in us. It's his joy that lives in us. And he gives it to us. And when we walk around outside of him, we squelch that joy, which means anxiety, depression, worry. Don't live in that. Live in his joy. Swim in that pool that he gives us. It's amazing. I love you guys. He loves you so much. That's why he puts me here to love you. Nothing greater than to be his hands and feet. I love you guys. You guys have a fantastic Tuesday, day off today, and Casting Crowns concert with my mermaid tonight. Love you guys.